What's up, Coop?
Phone check 1 2. How's it going, Mr. Senor?
It's going fantastically. How you doing?
Love to hear it. Well, now that both of our favorite NFL teams are out of the running, we can focus entirely on golf in 2024, right?
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, I have now become such a golf sicko that I was flipping back and forth between the Amex final round and the beginning of the Bills playoff game, which I never, ever in a million years thought would happen. But I missed like probably 5 aggregate minutes at the opening of that playoff game so that I could finish to see Dunlap's win. So.
It was a particularly exciting round of golf this past weekend or tournament at Amex with Dunlap. That was amazing. Dom, what do you think?
I think the same thing as you, Coop. I was typing in the chat as well. Like that was a really fun story to follow the entire weekend. Dunlap shot really well all 4 days, and you had to at that tournament. You had to get the birdies. I even mentioned how it's a shared opinion as well. Like a birdie fest may not be the most favored outcome for a tournament, but in that case, it definitely worked out well.
Yeah, fun to watch. Very, very cool. Um, Well, appreciate you all being here again. This is Community Tuesday. We had a fantastic Taylor Swift themed trivia just a moment ago. That happens at 7:30 p.m. every Tuesday up until April, and then we'll switch to Thursdays, probably right around the Masters. But Community Tuesday in full effect here tonight. I see Bez in the audience. I know he'll hop up here when he can. He got back from Scotland this week. We're excited to hear about his trip to Spey Bay. But if you didn't notice on Twitter, we're doing almost weekly competitions as we remove the gorse. There was a light freeze this week, so a little delay. But this week we found 1,263 golf balls next to number 6. So just along that left side of the sixth hole, we found 1,200 golf balls. We'll be doing more competitions and giveaways and golf ball guessing as we continue the gorse removal and renovation over there. So stay tuned. Get your notifications on Twitter for that and those competitions. Dom's guess was a lot closer this week than last week, so we're getting dialed in there. Bez, welcome on stage. How was the trip? All right, still muted, but we will get Bez up here as soon as we sort out the technical difficulties on that. We do have a new 2K event this weekend. Dom, is that correct?
Yes. Following the PJ Tour still. I hope to once the Live Golf events start rolling around, I would hope to get those up as well. So we have 2 tournaments during the week. I think that'd be just give people a reason to get on. But yeah, we're following the Farmers Insurance Open this weekend. Going to kind of set up like last week where you kind of had the separate courses being played. So first 2 days we're going to be playing the North Course, and the Saturday and Sunday we're going to be playing the South Course. So make sure you participate this weekend on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. Join the society on those platforms. It's called Links Society, and yeah, it'll be a fun time. That Torrey Pines is a fun course. They have a couple of fun par threes that are very, very downhill. So if you've been practicing, you may get rewarded, and if you haven't been practicing, you may get punished. So watch out. And then do we have Links Leagues updates here, Coop?
Let's kick it over to Bez for the Spebe. Do we have him here?
Yeah, sorry, I had walked away from my
Hey,
phone, so I
no
just
worries.
didn't have the ability to tap unmute when you called me out. Yeah, so got back from, well, thanks to a delayed flight, missed my connection, had to spend a night in Amsterdam on the way back. So got back from Scotland/Amsterdam on Saturday, but flew over last Tuesday night, got in on Wednesday, rode with Sam from CDP on Wednesday from Inverness Airport over to Spey. So got to Spay probably around 2-ish on Wednesday afternoon. Spent 2.5 hours out on the course with Sam and Bert, our general manager. Some people may have seen some of the photos that were taken. It was blizzard-like conditions as we walked around for 2.5 hours, kind of just getting, for me and Sam, who hadn't been there, kind of getting a lay of the land for what had been removed. Obviously, been watching it, been seeing drone imagery, seeing photos, but it doesn't come close to one, just like do justice, like how much has actually been taken out in terms of the gorse and how much is opened up in terms of sight lines and viewing and just being able to see a bunch of different holes, that you aren't playing when you're in the midst of playing, the third hole or fourth hole, fifth hole, etc. And then getting a sense for how the course will play in reverse on a handful of holes, where we've sort of opened up the ability to reach greens from different directions. So that was Wednesday. Then Thursday morning, headed over to the course pretty early. Got there, I think maybe like around 8:30, 8:45. Then we started walking around the course about 9 or so. Spent 3.5 hours out doing a deeper dive on where new tees can go for 17, 18, how we want to handle potentially new tees for 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so I was out there with Sam and Bert again, as well as David, our head greenskeeper / course manager. And then we went back inside for a couple hours, kind of debrief on what we saw, what we think makes sense in terms of, what can go live and when, in terms of new tees and course changes. And then had a call with C. Bruce right around that time as well, which is our normal sort of weekly Spay Bay catch-up call. So we were able to give Chris a pretty good update on what we were seeing on the ground, what we need to do from an investment perspective over the course of the next few months. And then went back out again for 30, 45 minutes, check the area where the sand is being dug up to use for top dressing, and then ultimately will be used for building up some of the teeing areas, particularly on the water where we're going to need to elevate those. And then went back, was supposed to head home the next morning, Friday morning, didn't make it home, and then flew home Saturday morning. So that's sort of the very quick summary of what we did there. I'm happy to, answer questions, share greater detail on how we're approaching things, but wanted to give sort of the, quick sort of like timeline of events for people, just to get a sense for what we did on the ground there. But despite the fact that there was 3-4 inches of snow on the ground, an extremely productive trip, extremely worthwhile flying over there. It's pretty amazing to see like the contours of the fairways and the greens that get accentuated when you have snow covering them, and you can actually just see like how dramatic those like humps and bumps are in the fairways over there, which you can see as you're walking, but like when there's snow covering them and there's different shadows and sort of the snow really like hugs the surface of the ground, you get even a much better sense for like the topography of the course, and it's pretty awesome to see the changes starting to take shape.
Excellent. To pass along a question from Greg, and did you get to swing any golf clubs, or was this too iced in everywhere you went?
Oh my god, no, there wasn't even a chance of hitting. I mean, you could have hit a golf ball. I could have swung a golf club, but like it would have been completely pointless. Yeah, first and hopefully the last time I fly to Scotland and don't play any golf or swing any golf clubs. But yeah, there wasn't a prayer.
Excellent. Well, any other questions for Bez that come up, or anyone listening to the recording, feel free to tag in the chats. Happy to discuss more on that. And we are planning the next Spay Spaces, Twitter Spaces, where we'll have more folks from the team, the folks on the ground, and potentially some folks from CDP talking about the progress as we all look to book some more of our trips and plans for the 2024 Spay event schedule. Which looks
it's like
awesome.
Yeah, it's like on that front. The one thing I'll add is, obviously the course isn't going to be fully reversible, this year, but we do have a reversible routing that has been set up to give people an idea of how it will play. And so there's probably like a 7-hole reversible loop that we're anticipating being available probably maybe by the June event to allow people to get a sense for how it's going to play in the opposite direction. So basically, like the first 2 or 3 holes of the reversible and the last 4 holes of the reversible routing would be available. And then, as some people may have seen, there's going to be some new. Like the 4th hole is going to be completely different compared to the way it was on the forward routing. So if you've been over to Spay, if you played the 4th hole most recently, it was like 190-yard par 3, kind of directly parallel to the coast in this kind of like wooded area. It's now going to be about 125-yard par 3 that kind of runs diagonal / perpendicular to the coast. You hit over like a little, people remember, there's like a little burn that runs in front of the 6th green. It runs along the 5th fairway, and it kind of runs along the side of the fourth green, and it really wasn't in play. Well, now from this angle it will be, so you'll hit over that burn, and we anticipate that that's a hole and a tee that you won't actually will only be made available during the special Links Spay member events this summer. It's not a hole that will be available for regular play. And then there's a new fifth tee that is being constructed, and just makes the hole like it's an awesome tee shot, and will be even better when the new 5th green gets built. But that's a tee that, assuming if it gets completed in time, that's another one that we anticipate using as sort of a special tee for member events this summer. And then ultimately it'll become the default tee for all play on that hole. But as we try and keep foot traffic to a minimum in certain areas, I think that those are 2 potential areas where we could sort of unlock unique access for members during the events this summer. So
way cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to see that. And then we got to get these plans uploaded into PGA 2K and get some of these special holes playable while it's still cold. I don't know if we have. We're at the finality level there yet, but we need some more time.
We're going to need to bring that. Whoever the guy was that built it is going to have his work cut out for him for building a new version of this golf course, because it's effectively wildly different than the original design, just given how much gorse and trees have been removed compared to what it was when he originally did it in 2K.
Oh yeah, I think Jay Gelsinger will appreciate having to add fewer bushes. That's a time intensive component to it. But no, that'll be really fun. Thanks so much, Bez. I'm glad it was a productive trip. We'll have more updates coming on that, and a Twitter Spaces. We'll get a little more broad on that front. Additionally, Bez sent me an email. We have updates on the Philly area course, which I will not name because we are live streaming on Twitter. As well, we've got an interest form. So if you are in that thread in members chat, you will get a ping right now. And then if you are in members chat, you can see the thread. And you'll have access to that. You can fill out that interest form. We've got some finalized details there on that membership opportunity in the Philadelphia area. So go ahead, fill out that form, proceed on that front. We can chat about it, answer questions in that thread. I will pin that there. And then we also have more updates coming on the Caribbean course. In fact, potentially a presentation from some representatives there, either next week or the week following. And we can put together kind of an outing there. I don't know if March may be too short of notice for some folks, but definitely sometime this spring for a group, and then potentially in the fall as well. So looking forward to updates on that front. If you're interested or excited about that Caribbean course, make sure to tune in and stay up to date on that front. Yeah, with that, let's spin the wheel of names. Let's see who we know that the winner this week, the player of the week, was Alam, ALAM, with 14 points this week. That's a very, very impressive score in Links Leagues. So that's awesome. And yeah, it's still very cold out there. So we do not have too many people reporting round 2 scores yet. So if you are posting your scores, you do have an outsized advantage on earning the weekly wheel spin. But let's spin the wheel. Here we go. T. Our winner is T. Congratulations, T. We will get you your points sent out. Yeah, and make sure you post your scores, because competition is light right now on Links Leagues. You can get it in there. Steve Bruce is on his way to the PGA show this week. If you're interested in that, you can pop into the Florida channel. You go to region selection. If you may be at the PGA show or know someone wants to connect, he is there this week. But again, the Spay Bay 2024 plan is up for comment. You can view that. And I am excited to announce that we're going to be having another DAO call on Tuesday, February 13th. So I will be sharing that date. If you're interested in that, we have the DAO General channel. We've got the pinned message there is the DAO agenda. We've got some tasks, some open items available, and some good discussions going on around social media marketing and some other stuff. So that's pretty much it from me this evening, Mr. Senor. What do you got? And of course, if anyone in the chat wants to raise their hand, come up on stage, please do.
Yes, so you talked about in the updates that we've been working on proofs of concept for 2 pretty big pillars. One would be social, making Clubhouse more social, including potentially a feed, comments, friending, sort of private chats, etc. And then also mobile. So these are both very early in the sort of prototype phase. We have some early builds for both, just to kind of piece everything out and understand the complexity. A small team, so it's about really making the right decisions on how we spend our time, but made a lot of good progress and understand those enough to be able to plan and sort of weigh out some of those trade-offs. We've also, this has been a very long requested feature, recorded map in Clubhouse for the ability to find courses by map rather than search. And we've also started to build that out as well. No timeline on when that will be live, but you'll be the first to hear it when it is. So those are the 3 main things that we've been working on, outside of obviously continuing to find bugs and fix bugs and everything else. But those are the 3 main things on our horizon.
Love that. Keep up the good work. And of course, you can access the latest and greatest from the product by typing !product board, going in and viewing and voting the latest and greatest. So props to you and the devs, doing great things, keeping the engine purring under the hood. But yeah, any other thoughts, comments, questions, concerns, you can raise your hand or you can ping us in the chats. Looking forward to seeing the group of members going out to Cabot Citrus Farms here in early February. Congrats to those who were selected. And we will be back next Tuesday. With that, I can wish you all a great evening.
Appreciate it, y'all. Talk to you soon.
Later.
Thank you.